As the role of the Rebbe to learn Hilchos Beis Abchira in the days from Bein HaMitzorim, we have today a Choshev in German, a Shliach of the Rebbe in El Cerrito, I hope I say it right, El Cerrito, California. Rav Chosid, Rav Ya'akov Bell is going to give us some insight into Hilchos Beis Abchira. Rav Ya'akov, bevakasha. We should give tzedakah, everybody should give tzedakah b'tzibur for the days Bein HaMitzorim and to connect it together with the Shir in Hilchos Beis Abchira. Bevakasha.
I hope it wasn't spoken about already. In the Rambam Perek Vav of Hilchos Beis Abchira, the Rambam says, "Hamikdash kulei le'hoy b'misher, el v'malei ahar." The Beis Hamikdash was not at all on the flat; it was all on the mountain. It was on the going up the mountain. When a person would come in from the Shar Mizrachi, he would walk until the end of the Chel, go from the Chel to the Ezras Nashim. There was 12 steps, and then walk to the Ezras Nashim, and then from the Ezras Nashim to the Ezras Yisrael, there was another 15 steps, and then from the Ezras Yisrael to the Ezras Kainim, there was a Maila Geveya Amma. There was a step, one amma high, and on there was a duchan, platform, and another few steps. I think 3 steps. And then again, from the Ezras Kainim to the Ulam, there was another 12 steps. And then the Rambam says, for Ulam v'heichal kol b'shaveh, the Ulam, once he came to the Ulam and he walked through from the Ulam all the way through to the Heichal, which includes the Kodesh and the Kodesh HaKodashim, it was all flat. It was all straight. There was no more steps. So why did the Rambam have to point out that the Mikdash kulei le'hoya v'mishe el v'mayla ahar, that it wasn't at all on the flat? It was only on the mountain. First of all, he's going to say it in a second. He tells us the measurements. He seems to be saying something specific over here, something which is negeya. So we could say that it's because the Rambam he started off at the beginning of Hilchos Beis Abchira already saying that it's bringing a few similarities to the Mishkan. He says the Mishkan Shas Moshe, talk about the Beis Hamikdash. A few times he mentions the Mishkan as an intro into talking about the Beis Hamikdash. So this is pointing out the difference between the Mishkan and the Beis Hamikdash. In the Mishkan, we know it was on the flat, and there was no steps. It was all the way through from the outer and the Kloim all the way through the Chatzei Elmeid. It was all flat, and the Beis Hamikdash it was going up the mountain. But obviously the Rambam is halachis. Halachis that the Rebbe always points out. When the Rambam is telling us something, he's telling us it specifically in order to bring out something in the halacha. And also the Rambam says over here, Hamikdash kulei lo yehaya b'misher el v'malei ahar, which is when in Tashal Lashon there's always a liikuva, that it's not just a nice prat, an extra detail, letting you know that it happens to be it's on the mountain. So that this is negeya to the mahus, the mesias of the Beis Hamikdash, that it specifically should not be in the misher. Davka has to be liikuva, the malei ahar. So what is this? Why is this so negeya? So the Rebbe explains based on the difference between, we brought before the Mishkan and the Beis Hamikdash. So it's not just a technical thing, a technical difference, but it's more than that. It's a deeper chiluk between the Mishkan and the Beis Hamikdash, that we know that the Mishkan was aroi, it was temporary. The Beis Hamikdash was kavua. So the aim is halich. The Mishkan was if we went from one place to the next, and it was an oil, and it wasn't a kavudik place. And so we went from one place to the next. The place where the Mishkan was back to the way it was before. It was a land, a part of the desert, or Shiloh, or Nevel, given wherever it was. And once we moved on to the next place, the original place was no longer had any kedusha in it. It was no longer holy. The Beis Hamikdash, the Rambam says, and I think he said it earlier already. In Perek Aleph, he said that Kenish Nivin Hamikdash B'Shalayim. Nesru Kol became Kulam Nivnis Beis Hashem Hakif Ben Karban. That from when the Beis Hamikdash was built and the Eibush chose this place, this is it from now on forever. The Har Bayis is the only place where the Beis Hamikdash could be, the Har Moriah, and that's the end of it. There's no more temporary dwelling for the Eibushter. The Beis Hamikdash is in a kavudik place. So based on this, the Mishkan didn't change the makim where it was. The place went back to the way it was before. Taka the Rebbe brings that it says by Satan the Afrash Yeh B'Karka Mishkan. The offer was also part of the thing over here. But he says it's only a technical thing because the Mishkan was standing there. So the offer the offer in that place was special. Once the Mishkan moved on, the offer had no kedusha anymore. Like it says by Har Sinai, the bigger gila than ever before. Once the Stal Kashchina, the Har Sinai went back to a regular mountain. So based on this, we can explain that the Beis Hamikdash, because it was changing the makim where it was, the makim now became Kaddish also. So we have there's different levels. There's Esther Kadesh's thing, and as you go from one place to the next, it gets more and more holy. So we want to bring out the whole idea of the Mailei Ahar, that it's going up the Mailei, it's going up in Kedusha, it's going from one level to the next level. So he comes into the Har Bayis, he goes into one level, and he goes higher to the Ezras Nashim, goes to a higher level, Ezras Kainim, Ezras Kainim, etc., and going higher and higher in Kedusha from one level to the next. And the actual, it was negated that the actual location, the actual place of where the Beis Hamikdash was, it should have different levels in order to bring out this idea that the place was also Kaddish, not just the fact that there was that there was a Mikdash that was in that place. The Rebbe takes it a step further, which also to answer a question over here, which is that we know that the Maimon of the Rebbe, this Sichas, I think Sichas Chilek Vav, the Rebbe speaks about the difference between the supplies that were used for the Mishkan and the Beis Hamikdash. That in the Mishkan, the Mishkan was made out of Tzemeach and Chai, the Yiris, and the Krashim. That the Yiris is Chai. And then you went down lower, you had the Krashim, which is Tzemeach. But actually, there was no, the Alter Rebbe says, there was no daimim in the Mishkan. The Rebbe leaves with the Tzarech Iyom because there was the Adanim were Kesef, the Kesef was daimim. But the main point over here is that he says that the daimim wasn't changed. That the Mishkan wasn't a full Dir B'Tachtenim. Dir B'Tachtenim means that there's Chayas, even in the lowest thing, even in something which is completely dead, which is daimim, which has no life at all, and even in that, there should be chayas of kedusha v'elikus. So this is a deeper difference between the Mishkan and the Beis Hamikdash. And the Mishkan, it didn't really make a deal with Tachtenim. In the Beis Hamikdash, it went all the way down to the daimim. Now even the ground, even the karka Mishkan of the Beis Hamikdash was also changed. Based on this, the Rebbe asks that the Kodesh HaKadoshim should be way higher than everything else. He says, the Rambam says, you go into the up from the Ezras Kainim to the Olam, and then he goes through the Heichal, and it's all flat all the way through. It's equal all the way through. And then you have the Olam, and then you have the Kodesh, you have the Kodesh HaKadoshim. The Kodesh HaKadoshim, the Achas B'Shan and the there should be on the high. It should be steps way higher up. The beer, that also based on what we said before of the kedusha being chayda, permeating the makim, and the makim changing and being on different levels, is that there's a certain this is only when we're talking in kedusha, which is be'erech, which you have one level and a higher level and a higher level, and you can see it physically in the place. The place you can see from one level to the next. But then you have a kedusha nailat b'yesed, the kedusha of the Beis Hamikdash, which is the gilui of atzmus u'mahus, the makim ha'aron inim in amida. Over here, over here it was beyond being able to be seen in makim. It wouldn't truly express the kedusha of the Kodesh HaKadoshim if you had a higher place for the Kodesh HaKadoshim. Even if you had 1,000 steps higher, I think the Rebbe says. Even if you had 1,000 steps higher, it wouldn't help. It still wouldn't express the difference of the Kodesh and the Kodesh HaKadoshim. Now the Kodesh HaKadoshim is a completely different level of kedusha. It's a kedusha which we cannot measure based on different levels and sizes and shapes, etc. So Mamela, Taka, the Rebbe points on the Bilti Mugah, Taka the Kodesh HaKadoshim, it was also b'makim. It has to be that the Rambam says that's where the Evan Shliya was and the Sen Saman and even after the Arin was no longer there, it was the Matmenius and Mukis. The Sikha that Rebbe explains that the Arin is still there at the Yom, that the Kodesh HaKadoshim has the same kedusha because of the Arin, and that was something within the place. So Taka, it made a difference where the place was. It had to be a physical place, but at the same time, it's not with that physical place. We couldn't see it in a physical side to be able to look at it and be able to say, oh, this is on a higher level. This goes beyond. Because there's a whole different level of kedusha, which is makim ayin enim min amidah. And the hira is the hira. Obviously, there's the inyan of going up in kedusha, going from one level to the next. With a yidaf zayin mahalach, going always from one level to the next level, going higher and higher in the animal kedusha. But then there's a time and place which is beyond levels. It's beyond that the person is on this level, on that level, this level of his kashrus to the Eibishter. It's a complete bittul. The battle, Misalik is asked, we were saying the battle of Yisparach, he gives it Ibra and Gansen to the Eibishter. This is beyond, this is the Yichida of a Yid. This is the real bittul of a Yid to the Eibishter, which is the idea of the Kodesh HaKadoshim, the Achas Bashana, and the Rebbe always explains that every Yid is shaykh to be a Kain Gadol, and every Yid has a Kodesh HaKadoshim, which is the Yichida LaYachtach, that over here we doesn't Taket's Nigeya. Packets, this is my own addition. The packets negaya the makim, and it has to be in place and in time. The Rebbe always points out it has to be downhill the gashmis, but at the same time it's not like the brings over here from the Zeder some Meir Tanisa. There's a time and place where he completely forgets, leaves the whole level behind, and goes in the complete bittul to the Eibishter. B'tzad the level of yichida of the bittul of this level of the Kodesh HaKadoshim, which is not measured in time and space. Shkoyach.